Hi guys, and welcome to this lecture. My name is Bea, and today I would like to focus on two extremely common British grammar structures which are used to and to be used to, which sound very similar, but in fact their meaning is completely different. So the two sentences, I used to drink coffee and I am used to drinking coffee, mean different things. And today I would like to look at the meaning of both of these sentences, contrast the meaning, and also look at the form. And finally, I would like to ask you to do some sentence completion exercises just to double check whether you have understood the differences between these two structures. So let's start. Okay, so let's have a look at our first structure, the structure with used to. I've got three sentences. So here I've got I used to drink coffee. Also, I used to have short hair. And a negative sentence, I didn't used to do yoga every day. These three sentences, they all use the same grammatical structure, used to. Let's have a look at the meaning of the first two sentences, or positive sentences. I used to drink coffee and I used to have short hair. They both refer to something in the past that was true in the past, maybe a habit, maybe a state in the past. So in case of I used to drink coffee every day, that is a habit that I had in the past. I used to have short hair, that is a state, that was something that was true for me in the past. But an extra meaning that comes with this structure is that the opposite is true for now. So the used to structure contrasts the past and the present. I used to drink coffee means I did this in the past, and now this is not true for me anymore. The same applies for our next sentence. I used to have short hair. This means that this is something that I had in the past, but now I don't. So there is always a contrast between the present and the past in these structures when we use used to. You could say, I used to drink coffee, but I don't now. But because we use this special structure, there is no need to say, I don't drink coffee now. Because the sentence implies this when we use this structure. What about the negative sentence? I didn't used to do yoga every day. So what does that mean? In the past, we have a habit doing yoga, which was not true for me because I'm using the negative structure of this used to structure. So I didn't used to do yoga. That means in the past, this habit was not true for me, but now it is. There is always a contrast between the past and the present when we use this structure. So what is the form? Can we notice the form? What kind of words do we need to use, and what kind of verb forms do we need to use? So let's have a look. In the positive sentences, we use the expression used to plus the base form of the verb. So used to go, used to eat, used to drink. In the negative construction, we use didn't used to plus the base form of the verb. So I didn't used to go, I didn't used to eat, I didn't used to drink. Also notice the pronunciation because when we say used to, the D sound assimilates to the sound that follows it, which is the T sound. So instead of saying used to, most people end up just saying used to. Used to. Can you say this expression? Used to. Now let's have a think about your life. So what is true for you now that was not true in the past? How has your life changed in the past 5 years, for example? What did you used to do that you don't do now? Or what didn't you used to do that you do now? For example, you might say, I didn't used to get up at 6 o'clock every morning, or I didn't used to do my homework every day, or I used to play tennis every day. Something that's changed in your life. So I would like you to maybe pause this video for a few minutes, think about your life. Can you write 2 or 3 sentences about how your life has changed in the past 5 years? And now let's have a look at our second structure. I am used to drinking coffee. So this sounds very similar to our first structure, but means something completely different. I am used to drinking coffee means that this is a habit that I have now. This is something that I do on a regular basis, and this action is not a problem for me. It requires no effort. You could say, in other words, I'm accustomed to drinking coffee, although no one will actually use this. It's a little bit too formal. Most people would just say, I am used to drinking coffee. So let's have a look at maybe 2 more sentences. I am used to getting up early, or I am not used to cooking every day. What's the meaning of these 2 sentences? I am used to getting up early means that this is a habit that I have now. And this is not a problem for me. It's actually easy for me now to do this action. Maybe in the past it wasn't, but now it's like a routine for me. It requires no effort. Or I am not used to cooking every day means it's something that maybe is happening now on a regular basis, but it requires effort from me. So using the negative means that it requires effort to do this habitual action. Now let's have a look at the form of this structure. So my sentence was, I am used to drinking coffee, or I am used to getting up early, or I am not used to cooking every day. These 3 sentences here. So what do these 3 sentences use in terms of grammar? All of these sentences use to be used to, plus the ing form of the verb. So I am used to drinking coffee, I am used to swimming, I am used to playing tennis, I am used to learning English every day. There is always the ing form that follows the to be used to structure. So how about you? Can you think of some sentences that you can say about yourself using to be used to as a structure? You might say things like, I am used to drinking tea, I am used to learning English every day, I am used to living in the city where I live now, or I am not used to getting up early every day. Okay, so now let's see if we can use these structures and whether we can make a distinction between these 2 structures. So have a look at my 2 sentences here. I've got now I don't eat meat and I ate meat in the past. What would be the sentence? Which structure would you use to describe this situation? Would you use used to or to be used to? What's the correct sentence? Well, if you have said, I used to eat meat, well done. This is something that was true in the past, but it is no longer true in the present. How about this next situation? I eat meat all the time and my body is accustomed to this. How would you describe this situation? Which structure would you use? Used to or to be used to? Well, if you have said, I am used to eating meat, that is the correct answer, because I am used to eating meat describes a situation, describes a habit in the present that I do and that requires no particular effort, and that is something that I am accustomed to. So well done. And then maybe now you could think of some sentences you can write about your life, yourself, and put them in the comments below, and let me know how you get on with the difference between used to and to be used to. Thank you guys. See you soon.